What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Tuesday, May 27th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and our Eastern Conference Finals game between the Knicks and Pacers. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, we were a little bit afraid with it being a holiday weekend that we could have a Sunday repeat. Things went a little bit better than that. Now, we got off to a bad start. We went back to the Red Sox, unfortunately. They take the 3-2 loss. Boston probably going on the ban list until we see their offense wake up. The bats have been extremely cold there for the Red Sox. We had the Cardinals minus 110. That was somehow a 5-2 loss there for St. Louis. Feedy was bad, and Morton made his first good start of the season, so pretty annoying to end up on the wrong side of that. We got a pretty bad beat there on a push on our under in the Minnesota Twins at Tampa Bay Rays game. We had under 9, a 4-run 8th inning there, making us push that bet instead of coming away with what was looking like it would be a very comfortable win. So annoying stuff there. Now we did bounce back. We had the Yankees at minus 160, a comfortable 5-1 win there for the Yankees. So put that one on the board. We had the Timberwolves at plus 128 on the money line as our dog of the day, and they had their chances in that game despite Julius Randle looking like an absolute garbage can, Anthony Edwards not being able to make any threes. The others played amazing there for the Timberwolves, and they still managed to barely lose that game down the stretch. Also, we forgot to put Nickeil Alexander-Walker's points over in the pinned comment, so no credit goes to us for that one, but if you watched the whole video, you saw that pick, and hopefully you ended up taking it. We cashed the Cubs at minus 1.5 at minus 152 as our massive lock of the day. A close one, but that insurance run in the 7th inning gives us the win to cash a very reasonable price lock of the day. So let's go ahead and see if we can do a little bit better here, getting into a real full slate there in the MLB here on Tuesday. And first up, we've got the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Dodgers come into this game fresh off of a win there in game 1, taking down Cleveland 7-2. Ohtani hitting another leadoff home run. Pretty crazy stuff. 2 games in a row he's hit leadoff home runs. The Dodgers hitting the ball in this one to Dustin May, who's 2-4 this year, a 4.09 ERA. He's coming off an excellent start there against the Diamondbacks, and he's looked good against them, honestly, in his last 2 starts against them. But overall this season, inconsistent is the word that I would use. Now, he hasn't been terrible. We'll see what he can do here against the Guardians, but he has definitely not been terrible. Not that, he's been elite. So we'll see what he does. The Dodgers bullpen has been a bit of a problem recently. 3.87 bullpen ERA, though, is headed at least slightly in the right direction. Offensively, putting up 7 runs is obviously a very good look there yesterday. And as they continue to get healthy, obviously seeing Ohtani hit the cover off the ball is a great look. We'll see how things go. They're still 3rd in the majors in runs scored, 2nd in batting average. This is one of the scariest offensive teams in the majors. I don't think I have to tell you guys that. That's kind of a no-brainer at this point. So we'll see what they do against the Guardians, who come into this game 29-24 on the season. They've now lost 2 in a row. Hitting the ball in this game to Tanner Bybee, who's 4-4 this year, a 3.57 ERA. He dominated the Tigers his last time out, guys. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 8 and walked 1. So excellent stuff there. Obviously going up against the Dodgers, a little bit of a different situation. He has had good starts this year against teams like the Phillies, and obviously the Tigers are no slouches there at the plate, so we'll see what he can do here against the Dodgers. I'm not expecting him to be terrible. Now, the Cleveland bullpen also has not been a huge upside there for their team this year. I mean, a 3.86 bullpen ERA, hovering right around the same level there as the Dodgers bullpen. The offense, not nearly as good as the Dodgers. That's no major shot, guys. They're 23rd in the majors in runs scored, 25th in batting average, so not exactly a spot for the Guardians offense where, I'm thinking they're going to be one of the better offensive units in the majors. They're going to be below average this year, no question there. So, looking at the numbers, guys, the Dodgers are minus 135, the Guardians are plus 115. We've got a total of 8.5. The Dodgers are 12-13 on the road this year, 13-12 to the under on the road. Cleveland is 14-9 at home, 13-9-1 to the under at home. I'm not going to be taking under 8.5 in a game that the Dodgers are playing in. Really, not very unlikely to be a thing. So maybe shade towards the over, I suppose. In terms of a side, I'll definitely take the Dodgers at minus 135. It's not a play that's going in the pinned comment. Bybee has been too good for me to do that, but I do think the Dodgers are the side you want. Next up, guys, are the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Cardinals come to this game fresh off of a Game 1 loss, 5-2. The bats didn't come alive, and yeah, the Orioles get their 3rd straight win. Now, the Cardinals have had a very good season so far. They're hitting the ball to Andre Pallante in this game. He's 4-3 this year, a 4.18 ERA. Coming off a bit of a mediocre start there against the Tigers. 5-2 their innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. He also walked 4 and struck out 3, so clearly control a little bit of an issue for him. The dude's only 26. I'm not expecting him to be lights out every time he takes the mound this season, but in general, he has been pretty darn good this year. So we'll see what we get out of him in this game. The Cardinals bullpen, while it's not great, is not looking like the disaster that it was in the early goings. A 3.93 bullpen ERA. Still, though, definitely in need of improvement. The offense has been the main strength for this team. We've seen Brendan Donovan hit the ball really well this season. Lars Newbar's put up some interesting numbers. Wilson Contreras has been doing his thing. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored. They're 4th in batting average. They're 6th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 332 clip. Like, this is a very, very respectable offense. So we'll see what they get up to here against the Orioles, who come into this game winners of 3 in a row, which is a little bit shocking given the fact they're 19 and 34 on the year. They're hitting the ball in this game to Tomoyuki Sagano, who's 4 and 3 this season, a 3.07 ERA. His last time out, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against Milwaukee. Start for that got knocked around a bit by the Twins. So we'll see what he gets up to here against the Cardinals. Obviously not a slouch of a team, so we'll see what Sagano gets done. I mean, obviously the dude's been very, very good this year, so I'm not about to, be too worried about him. Now, I am worried about the bullpen there for Baltimore. While they've been slightly better recently, a 5.37 bullpen ERA is in the bottom 4 in all of Major League Baseball. And the offense, obviously, they've won 3 straight, but they've scored 5 and 2 runs in those games. Not some massive offensive outburst. They're 25th in the majors in runs scored. They're 25th in the majors in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 302 clip. They're 22nd in batting average. They are 18th in slugging percentage. A drastic fall off from what we saw from them last year. So not looking too good there. Now, the Cardinals come into this game at -110. The Orioles are -112. We've got a total of 9. St. Louis is 11 and 16 on the road, 13-1 to the over-under on the road. Baltimore, 9 and 15 at home, 14, 8 and 2 to the over at home. I actually think this is a decent spot to back the under 9 in this game. I think we'll see a decent outing from Palante. This Orioles offense has not been great. I don't think the Cardinals are going to put up a lot of offense against Sagano. Now, the bullpen for both teams honestly concerns me a little bit. So the under probably not going in the pinned comment. I also think there's a decent chance the Cardinals bounce back and get a win here in this game. But going up against Sagano seems a little bit tough of a spot to put in the pinned comment as well. Next up, guys, we're looking at the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. We saw the Giants take the 3-1 loss there in Game 1 of this series. Now they're handing the ball in this one to Logan Webb. He's 5 and 4 this year, a 2.67 ERA. His last start, he got obliterated there by the Royals. It was kind of a weird deal. 4 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs. 3 of them were earned. He gave up a home run in that game. Clearly not his best stuff, and over the course of this season, he's been very, very good. So I do, generally speaking, expect him to have a bounce back here. He's been very good this year. Now, going up against the Tigers is no easy task, but I do think we'll see him look a little bit better. The Giants' bullpen's obviously been amazing. Tops in the majors, a 2.56 bullpen ERA is the best the MLB has to offer. The offense for the Giants, though, is a pretty huge work in progress. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored, but that is very misleading. They're 24th in batting average, 21st in slugging percentage. Young-Hoo Lee is leading this team batting .285. Like, this is not a strong offensive team. They scored 1, 3, 0, 4, 4, 3, and 1 runs over their last few games. Not a good offense. So we'll see if they can put some runs on the board against the Tigers, who've now won 2 in a row. They're 35 and 20 on the year. Handing the ball to Jack Flaherty, who's 2 and 6 this season, a 4.39 ERA. He's coming off a decent but not dominant start against Cleveland. 6 and 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. Struck out 8, walked 3, and gave up a home run. He just hasn't been quite to the level that I would have expected from him this season. He hasn't been terrible, don't get me wrong, but he just hasn't been great. So we'll see what he can do here against the Giants. Not necessarily the scariest offensive team. The bullpen for the Tigers has been good this year, a 3.36 bullpen ERA. That's not a problem, and the offense has taken a big step forward. Now, we haven't seen any of those big breakout offensive games here in a bit, but they're still 4th in the majors in runs scored. They are 7th in slugging percentage, 8th in on-base percentage. Like, I think it's pretty safe to say this is going to be a top 10 offense this season. Maybe not completely safe, but it feels pretty safe. So looking at the numbers here, the Giants are -118, the Tigers are -102. We've got a total of 7. San Francisco is 14 and 14 on the road, 16, 11 and 1 to the over on the road. Detroit is 19 and 8 at home, 15, 9 and 3 to the under at home. Guys, this is a tough spot. I mean, with a total of 7 here, do I really want to take the under? I do expect Flaherty to be pretty decent against the Giants. The last game in the series, we saw 4 total runs scored, so maybe shade just slightly towards that under. I also don't trust Logan Webb too much at the moment, so I'll take a little peek at the Tigers at -102, but once again, guys, not really a spot where I'm showing enough value to put this in the pinned comment. Jumping in here, guys, with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description and go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running, and it's off to a great start to the year. Looking to bounce back from a tough day yesterday, but that has historically been absolutely no problem. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not always match what you see here in the video. You also need to get over there to sign up for our free email newsletter from Stump the Spread, which will also get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on our results. Also, guys, there's all kinds of good information there. Parlays, information on niche betting like golf, horse racing, NASCAR, all kinds of crazy stuff. Tons of great information there for you every single day, and it's absolutely free, and it's easy to get to. It's going to pop up straight in your inbox. If you have any trouble with that, guys, check your spam folder. Every once in a while, it can end up in there. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member each month, and actually, guys, we are up to giving away 2 items of merch here in June. So we'll be doing a giveaway in very early June, probably in the first week sometime, and then in the 3rd week of June, we'll be doing another giveaway. Also, we're at like 75 or 70 something channel members right now. If we can get that up to 100, we will go up to doing 3, maybe 4 giveaways. So the more channel members we get, the more giveaways we'll do every single month. Also, as a channel member, you get a little bit of early access to all of our videos, and you get your name up on screen like you've probably been seeing here for a bit. Now, guys, let's go ahead and jump back into the rest of these games. We've got a very crowded Tuesday slate, and next up, we're going to be looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Braves come into this game fresh off of a 5-3 loss there against the Padres. They actually lost 2 out of 3 in that series, and they're having a little bit of a rough time right now. They're hitting the ball in this game to Spencer Strider, who's 0-2 on the year, a 5.79 ERA. His last start, I mean, this is only his 3rd start of the year, but his last start was against the Nationals, and it did not go well. We also see the Braves are 0-2 in his starts this year, so something to keep in mind at least a little bit. The Atlanta bullpen has not been as bad as it was to start the year. 3.61 bullpen ERA is still worse than it was last season, but I don't think they're too upset with the way the bullpen looks at the moment. The offense, though, continues to be a problem. They scored 3, 7, 1, 7, 3, 10, 6, and 4 runs over their last few. And while that doesn't look awful, they're kind of a team that puts up a lot of runs in meaningless games or like in meaningless spots. Like they'll pile on after they're already beating a team, but struggle to put up any offense in these close games. They're 17th in the majors in runs scored. They're 14th in slugging percentage and 14th in on-base percentage. I think being about an MLB average offense is as good as it's going to get for the Braves at this point. So we'll see what they do here against the Phillies, who did just lose one there against the Athletics, but they won 2 out of 3 in that series, and they're 34-19 on the year, handing the ball in this game to Ranger Suarez, who's 3-0 to start the year, a 3.70 ERA, so not looking quite dominant there. But honestly, except for a terrible start to open his season there against the Diamondbacks, he's looked very, very good. His last time out, 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, no runs allowed against the Rockies. So I'm expecting good stuff here from Ranger Suarez. It seems like he's rounding into form pretty quickly. The bullpen for the Phillies, just like last season, guys, it continues to be a concern. A 4.61 bullpen ERA. Nothing to write home anything positive about. The offense, though, has been killing it, guys. We've seen Trey Turner hit the cover off the ball this year. Schwarber's hit 18 home runs and is still batting over 250. These Phillies are 7th in the majors in runs scored, 5th in batting average, batting 261 as a team, 8th in slugging percentage. This is, no question about it, an elite level offensive team. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Braves are minus 102. The Phillies are minus 115. We've got a total of 8.5. Atlanta is 9-18 on the road, a very bad road team. They're 13-12-2 to the under on the road. The Phillies 17-8 at home, 13-12 to the over at home. I'm not messing with the total in this game, guys, but I will definitely take the Phillies here with Ranger Suarez on the mound. I'm expecting very good stuff from them in this game. I think they're going to get a comfortable win. You could even maybe talk me into the Phillies minus 1.5 in this game if you're really wanting to get greedy, but I'll just take them here at minus 115. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Twins come into this game 29-24 on the year. They lost game 1 of this series, 7-2, in a game where we very annoyingly pushed on our underplay. The Twins are going to hand the ball in this game to Joe Ryan. He's 4-2 this year, a 2.68 ERA. He's coming off a mediocre start there against Cleveland. Now, it was a game we saw the Twins eventually win 6-5, but other than that, he's been dominant over his last 5 starts. His 4 starts before his last one, he gave up a grand total of 2 earned runs over those 4 starts. So Joe Ryan been throwing the ball great. The Twins bullpen, 4th best in the majors. Their offense, that's where the problems come up for this team, guys. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored. They're 20th in batting average. Just not a team that puts up a ton of runs. I mean, they've scored 2, 1, 5, 3, 1, and 6 runs over their last few games. So I'm expecting them to find a way to put up some runs on a nightly basis, but I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. So looking at the Rays for this game, guys, they've actually been playing some of their best ball this season. They've won 6 in a row. They're handing the ball to Taj Bradley, who's been a bit all over the place this season. Now, a 24-year-old starter in the MLB, that can happen. He's 4-3, a 4.61 ERA. His last start was pretty good against Houston. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, struck out 7 and walked 2. So not a bad outing. Now, his start before that, he got shelled by the Marlins. So we'll see which version of him we get in this game. I don't believe, no, he has not gone up against the Twins yet this year. So we'll see what he looks like in this matchup. Now, the bullpen for Tampa Bay has also been very good, a 3.30 bullpen ERA. Not a ton to complain about there. The offense for the Rays has been their problem this year, but not recently. They've scored 7, 13, 3, 3, 8, and 3 runs over this winning streak. So 20th in the majors in runs scored, though, and 22nd in on-base percentage. Not super shocked if we see those numbers look pretty much similar to that by the end of the season. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Twins at -120, the Rays at +102. We've got a total of 8.5. Minnesota is 11-16 on the road. They are 15-9-3 to the under on the road. Tampa Bay is 17-8 at home, 19-3-3 to the under at home. So right off the bat, guys, there's a good chance we run it back and take another under here. I'll take under 8.5 in this game, and I think it's some pretty good value. I think it should be 8, maybe even 7.5 given the pitching matchup here. Now, in terms of a side, I am going to lean a little bit towards the Twins, but my main play on this game is certainly going to be that under. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The White Sox took the 2-1 loss in Game 1 of this series, a Lindor walk-off. So, yeah, the White Sox probably feeling a little bit tilted, although they're having a terrible season, so I don't know how much they care at this point. But they'll be handing the ball to Jonathan Cannon in this game. He's 2-5 this year, a 3.76 ERA. His last time out, though, got knocked around a bit by the Cubs in a 6-2 loss there for the White Sox. We do see that the White Sox have won 3 out of his last 5 starts, and while he's been not allowing too many runs, he's given up a lot of hits. So we'll see what that translates into in this game going up against a Mets team that's not necessarily swinging the hottest bats. But Jonathan Cannon, this young 24-year-old, shown good stuff, but definitely still a starter I worry about. And even if he has a good outing, that White Sox bullpen is going to come in at some point, and it's pretty darn bad, guys. A 4.61 bullpen ERA. That's a pretty big yikes. The offense, nothing special at all. Almost special how bad they are. They're 29th in the majors in runs scored. They're 29th in slugging percentage. They've scored 1, 4, 10, 4, and 5 runs over the last few games. Some of the hottest hitting you're going to see from this team. So I think it's about time they put those bats back on ice. And I think that could definitely happen here against the Mets, who come into this one winners of 3 in a row and 4 of 5. They're handing the ball to Taylor Megill, who's 3-4 this year, a 3.56 ERA. He's fresh off a very good start against Boston. 4 2/3 innings, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts, and 1 walk, and a 5-1 win there for the Mets. So that's very good. He has struggled to get run support at some different points, and also had a rough time in that 3-game stretch they're going up against the Cardinals, Cubs, and Yankees. But those are 3 pretty good offensive teams. The Mets certainly don't fall into that category, or the White Sox certainly don't fall into that category. The Mets bullpen, top 3 in the majors, so no concerns there. The offense should be elite given who they've got on the roster. Now, they're still only 13th in the majors in runs scored, but they're 7th in on-base percentage and 10th in slugging percentage, and they're about to go up against the White Sox. So I'm expecting them to find a way to put up more than the 2 runs they put up there in Game 1 of this series. So looking at the numbers, guys, I'm not shocked to see a pretty big discrepancy. The White Sox are +220, the Mets are -270. We've got a total of 8.5 or 8. The White Sox are 5-22 on the road, 16-10-1 to the under on the road. The Mets are 20-6 at home. That's an MLB best mark at home. They are 16-8-2 to the under at home. So if you think you're going to see a good day out of Jonathan Cannon and the White Sox bullpen again, maybe you could talk yourself into under 8.5, but I'm staying away from the total. I'm going to be leaning towards the Mets here at -270 with a possible chance to be the lock of the day. Megill does make me a little bit worried, and the Mets bats aren't the hottest, so we'll be keeping our eyes peeled for maybe an even better spot. Next on the docket, guys, we have a pretty disgusting matchup here. We've got the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Red Sox are officially on the banned list after that pathetic 3-2 loss there yesterday in Milwaukee. So we'll see if they bounce back here. We don't have a confirmed starter for them, but I'll be honest, guys, we pretty much hate this team at this point. The bullpen is looking okay for the Red Sox, I would say. Maybe not elite, but I'll give them okay. In terms of their pitching staff, it's the starting rotation, not amazing. They're 13th in the majors in quality starts. As a team, they're 18th in earned run average. So looking pretty middle of the road there, regardless of who they're going to put on the mound. In terms of the offense, they're somehow still tied for 5th in the majors in runs scored and 8th in batting average, but they are looking terrible recently, scoring 2, 1, and 1 runs over their last few games. So not a big fan of what we're seeing from Boston right now. They're taking on the Brewers, who have won the last 2 in a row, I guess, so that's something positive. They're only 27 and 28 on the year, handing the ball in this one to Aaron Savale, who's 0-1 on the season, a 9.00 ERA. This will be his 3rd start of the year. He had a terrible start against the Yankees, a mediocre start there against the Pirates. We'll see what he can do here against the Red Sox, but I'm not expecting any sort of miracles from him. In terms of the bullpen for Milwaukee, it's pretty bad. In terms of the offense for Milwaukee, it's pretty bad as well. I mean, they're 12th in runs scored, but 23rd in batting average and 28th in slugging percentage. So I just don't love anything in this game, if I'm being honest, guys. The Red Sox are plus 100. The Brewers are minus 120. We've got a total of 8.5. Boston, 11 and 15 on the road. 14 and 12 to the under on the road. Milwaukee is 16 and 10 at home, 16, 9, and 1 to the under at home. I don't really know which way to go on this one. I guess if the Red Sox are banned, we're taking the Brewers at minus 120, but this is definitely a stay away spot for me. Next up, we're looking at the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Reds took the 7-4 win there in Game 1 of this series. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Brady Singer. He's 5-3 this year, a 4.88 ERA. His last start, he was very good, although it was against the Pirates, and it wasn't a 3-1 loss. Other than that, he hasn't looked amazing over his last 3 starts, really getting shelled there by Houston, having a rough time against Atlanta. Not necessarily a starting pitcher that I am super high on at the moment. So we'll see what he gets done out there. The Reds' bullpen has been plummeting, looking terrible, all the way up to a 4.11 bullpen ERA. The offense has carried them a couple times recently, which is weird. They've scored 7, 8, and 6 runs over their last few, which is great for a team that's 9th in the majors in runs scored, but 17th in batting average and 13th in slugging percentage. Not a team that really scares me too much up there at the plate. So we'll see what they get done here against the Royals, who are 29 and 26 on the year, not having a great time, losing 3 of their last 4. They're hitting the ball in this game to Daniel Lynch IV. He comes into this game with a 1.57 ERA. He's going to be making the start, but he's not really a starter, guys. This is a bullpen start situation there from the Royals, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. A 3.20 bullpen ERA, very, very good, 5th best in the majors. So not too upset at the pitching situation in this game for the Royals. Their offense is always upsetting, though. They're currently sitting at 28th in the majors in runs scored. They are sitting at 14th in batting average and 26th in on-base percentage. Just not a team that puts up a lot of great numbers. So we'll see what happens in this one, guys. I mean, looking at the numbers, the Reds are minus 112, the Royals are minus 105. We've got a total of 8.5. The Reds are 13 and 14 on the road. They're 15, 11, and 1 to the under on the road. The Royals 17 and 10 at home, 17 and 10 to the under at home. So given these trends, you could take a look at the under. In general, though, guys, I think this is a good spot to back the Royals at minus 105. Their bullpen's been so good. I think they're going to be totally fine in a bullpen scenario start. So, yeah, give me the Royals in this one at minus 105. And at that price tag, especially going up against Brady Singer, this could end up in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. Slam that like button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing our dog of the day with the Cubs minus 1.5 at minus 152. That was a nice win and a very good price for a dog of the day. The price is not usually going to be that good, and the Cubs made us sweat a little bit, but we get the win in the end, so it's all okay. Now, the Rockies, historically bad to start the year, 9 and 45 this season, hitting the ball to German Marquez, who's 1 and 7 this year, a 7.66 ERA. He was actually decent his last time out, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them were earned in a 2-0 loss against the Phillies, but it was still a 2-0 loss. He's shown flashes of being decent, but he's also gotten shelled by teams like Arizona, Atlanta, San Francisco. So we'll see what he looks like here against the Cubs. Not necessarily an easy nut to crack there, for anybody. The bullpen for the Rockies has been pretty bad this season. Not as bad as last year, but a 4.41 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense is looking historically bad. 1, 4, 1, 3, and 0 runs over the last few games. They're 29th in majors in runs scored. They are last in batting average. This is a terrible offense. So we'll see what they can get done against the Cubs, who come into this game winners of 5 of their last 6. They're handing the ball to Cade Horton in this game. He's 2-0 on the year, a 4.40 ERA. This young 23-year-old is going to be making his 4th start of the year. He's gotten better with each start, kind of. Actually, no, that's a lie. He had a decent, mediocre start against the Mets, a decent start against the White Sox, and a very good start his last time out 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run allowed against the Marlins in a 2-1 win there for the Cubs. So we'll see what we get from Cade Horton in this game. I'm expecting him to be pretty good. Now the Cubs bullpen, if they have to come in and bail him out, it's been a little bit different, hanging around MLB average with a 3.99 bullpen ERA. The strength of this team has been their offense. Nico Horner's been great. Suzuki's been great. They're first in the majors in runs scored, first in the majors in batting average, third in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage. This is a pretty elite offensive team, guys. No doubt they're a top, like 3, maybe at worst, offensive team in the majors. So loving what we're seeing from the Cubs at the plate. Now, so are the odds makers. The Rockies are plus 265. The Cubs are minus 330. We've got a total of 8 out there. Colorado is 3-23 on the road. That's an MLB worst mark on the road. 18-8 to the under on the road. The Cubs, on the other hand, are having a pretty decent time. They are 16-8 at home, so nothing too bad about that. They are also 14-8-2 to the over at home, so putting up plenty of runs there at Wrigley Field. Now, in terms of a side for this game, I'm definitely wanting to take the Cubs at minus 330. Not a price that appeals to me too much. If you take them minus 1.5, you can get them all the way down to minus 145, something like that. So that's a fairly appealing spot. Now, Jermaine Marquez has had some good starts, so maybe that's a little concerning. And Cade Horton is, a very young guy who could be a little bit inconsistent. So definitely not going to be the lock of the day. Probably not going to be in the pinned comment, but we're putting it on the list. It's got a chance to sneak its way in there. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. Unfortunately, we messed up and didn't have the under on game 1 of this series in the pinned comment because it ended up a 2-1 win there for the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are going to hand the ball in this game to Bowden Francis, who's 2-6 on the year, a 5.54 ERA. He's fresh off of a decent but short start there against the Padres. I mean, 2 earned runs over 4 innings isn't even very decent. He hasn't looked good in any of his last 5 starts, really. Now, 2 of those did end in wins for the Blue Jays, but it really wasn't his fault. So we'll see what Bowden Francis looks like in this one. Not expecting miracles. The Toronto bullpen's been getting better and better, though. A 3.69 bullpen ERA. Fairly respectable stuff there. Offensively, this team is looking terrible. 2-0-1-1 runs over their last few games. Not what you're looking for. Not what you're looking for at all. So we'll see what Toronto can get up to in this one, going up against the Rangers, who come into this game struggling pretty mightily. They're 26-29 on the year, but they're hitting the ball in this game to Nathan Eovaldi, who's 4-3 this season, a 1.60 ERA. Last time out, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run there. It was a solo home run given up there at Yankee Stadium against the Yankees. And unfortunately for him, the Rangers take the 1-0 loss. So you can only do so much out there as a starting pitcher. He did pretty much everything he could. Now, the bullpen for the Rangers is starting to become a little bit concerning. A 4.08 bullpen ERA is not great. And the biggest problem, though, is the offense for this team that's kind of non-existent. They're 26th in the majors in runs scored. They're last in on-base percentage, third to last in batting average. This is just not a team that puts up a lot of runs. So we'll see what they look like in this matchup, obviously going up against a pretty offensively challenged Toronto Blue Jays team. Looking at the numbers, the Blue Jays are plus 140. The Rangers are minus 165. We've got a total of 8 out there. Toronto's only 10-15 on the road. 14-10-1 to the under on the road. The Rangers are 17-11 at home, so a pretty good home team. They are 22-6 to the under at home. That's an MLB best mark to the under at home. Guys, with a total here of 8, I would have thought it'd be 7.5. I guess maybe Bowden Francis being on the mound changes that. I'll definitely take under 8 in this game. Could end up in the pinned comment. I also think there's a very good reason to take the Rangers here. Minus 165, a little bit too expensive for me, but I certainly think we'll see Bowden Francis struggle a little bit. We'll see the Rangers offense put up some runs, and Eovaldi doesn't need many. Next up, guys, we've got the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Athletics come into this game fresh off of a 5-4 win there at home against the Phillies, so good stuff, very exciting, but now they've got to go on the road to Houston. They're handing the ball in this one to J.P. Sears, who's 4-4 on the year, a 4.00 ERA. His last start, he got shelled by the Angels. Start for that, he got shelled by the Giants. Before that, he's looked decent. He's had some very good outings this year. He hasn't faced the Astros, but we'll see what he looks like in this matchup. Recently not showing his best stuff. The Athletics bullpen's been a huge problem. They're the 3rd worst bullpen in the majors with an ERA just over 6. And the offense, which has been a strength at different points this season, has fallen off a bit recently. Now they're still 13th in the majors in runs scored and 6th in batting average. They've scored 5, 6, 3, 5, and 5 runs over the last few, but most of those were losses, and most of those were pretty lopsided losses at that. So we'll see what they can get after here against the Astros, who come into this game winners of 3 out of their last 4. They won 3 out of 4 in a series there against the Mariners. They got to stay at home here, and they're handing the ball to Hunter Brown, who's 6-3 this season, a 2.04 ERA. This young guy has looked amazing this year. Now he's fresh off probably his worst start of the season. No, definitely his worst start of the season, which kind of predictable. He pitched 8 innings there at the Rangers, 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run allowed in a 1-0 loss there at the Rangers. Then had to go on the road to Tampa Bay, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, including 3 home runs. So I think this is the perfect bounce back spot here for Hunter Brown. Normal rest, pitched not too long of a start. Everything should be back in working order here as he goes up against the Athletics. Now, the bullpen for Houston's been phenomenal this year, second best in the majors. The bats have been the problem. They scored 5, 2, 3, 9, and 4 runs over their last few games. Over the course of the year, 18th in the majors in runs scored, 9th in batting average, 11th in on-base percentage. So there's definitely room for this offense to be a little bit better here down the stretch. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Athletics are plus 170. The Astros are minus 210. We've got a total of 7.5. The Athletics are 14 and 12 on the road, 12, 10, and 4 to the under on the road. Houston's 18 and 10 at home, 17 and 11 to the under at home. I'm not interested in under 7.5 in this game necessarily, although I don't think it's horrible. I'm very interested in the Astros here at minus 210 as a potential lock of the day. I think Hunter Brown's going to be lights out coming back off of a bad start. He's going up against a pretty, or at least a slumping offensive team, and we're not worried about that Houston bullpen at all, and we're very worried about the Sacramento bullpen, so definitely give me the Astros here at minus 210 as a potential lock of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Yankees come into this game fresh off a 5-1 win there at the Angels yesterday. So if you enjoyed cashing that Yankees pick, go ahead and slam that like button for me, guys. That was a pretty comfortable win. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Carlos Rodon, who's 6-3 this year, a 2.88 ERA. He's fresh off a very good start there against the Rangers. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 8 and walked 2, and what was eventually a 1-0 win there for the Yankees. So very, very good stuff there. We'll see what it looks like against the Angels. Not a team he's faced this season. The bullpen for the Yankees has been very good all year long, a 3.29 bullpen ERA. And the offense, obviously, guys, looking like one of the best offenses in the majors. They scored 5, 5, and 13 runs over their last 2 games. They're second in the majors in runs scored, first in on-base percentage, third in batting average. They've got Aaron Judge on their team. I don't know if you've heard of him. Probably the best hitter in baseball right now. So we'll see what they get done against the Angels, who have now lost 3 straight after that lengthy winning streak. Guys, the wheels are kind of falling off. They're hitting the ball in this game to Tyler Anderson, who's been their best starter all year long. 2-1, a 3.60 ERA. His last 2 starts, though, have not looked nearly as good at getting shelled there at the Dodgers and then getting shelled at the Athletics. Not teams, the Dodgers obviously is fine, but getting shelled by the Athletics is not a great look. So we'll see if he can bounce back here. It may not matter, though. The Angels' bullpen is the worst bullpen in all of Major League Baseball, a 6.45 bullpen ERA. The offense not looking much better. They've scored 1, 0, and 2 runs over their last few games. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored, but that's a number that's going to fall as they are 28th in on-base percentage and 26th in batting average. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Yankees are minus 185. The Angels are plus 155. We've got a total of 8.5 or 9. You can find some 9s out there too. The Yankees 14 and 11 on the road, 12, 11, and 2 to the under on the road. The Angels are 10 and 12 at home, 11, 10, and 1 to the over at home. First up, guys, I think under 9 is theoretically live in this game, just based on the fact that I think Tyler Anderson could have a bounce back, and that's what's going to keep us away from the Yankees as a lock of the day. Now, I do think they'll probably win this game one way or the other. Minus 185 feels a little bit too expensive to put in there as just a regular core play, but I do think the Yankees here is definitely the side you want to be on. Rodon has looked so good recently, and the Angels are pretty freaking bad. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. The Marlins come into this game fresh off of a pretty disappointing 4-3 loss there in Game 1. A game they definitely could have won. It took 11 innings there for the Padres to find a way to win that game. Now, the Marlins hitting the ball in this one to Max Meyer, who's 3-4 on the year, a 4.15 ERA. He's coming off an excellent start there against the Cubs. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run allowed. So very, very good stuff there. And to be honest, that was a little bit of a bounce back after a few bad starts in a row. So maybe he's back on track. We'll see what he looks like in this game. Obviously, this dude has shown elite level stuff this season, so we'll see what he can get done here. The bullpen for the Marlins, obviously a concern. A 4.85 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense also has been floundering a little bit. I mean, 3, 3, and 6 runs over their last few games. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored and 17th in on-base percentage. Not really an offense that, makes you too scared out there. So we'll see what they can do here against the Padres, who come into this game winners of 3 of their last 4. They're hitting the ball to Steven Kolek, who's 2-1 this year, a 2.84 ERA. He's fresh off a couple mediocre starts, though. Getting knocked around there at Toronto, not having a great time against the Mariners either. So he's definitely in need of something of a bounce back here. We'll see if he gets it against the Marlins. Now, the bullpen for the Padres, while looking amazing in the early goings, has tailed off here a little bit. And the offense, while they have been winning some games, is not looking amazing either. I mean, 4, 5, 1, and 2 runs over their last few. Definitely not up to the level this team was expected to be. They're 19th in the majors in runs scored and 15th in slugging percentage. I don't know if this team has what it takes to make it back to being an elite level offense. So looking at the numbers here, the Marlins are plus 155. The Padres are minus 185. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Marlins are only 8-15 on the road, 14-9 to the over on the road. The Padres are 16-8 at home, 15-8-1 to the under at home. I'm definitely not interested in the total in this game, guys, but since the Padres are on the banned list, I'm going to take the Marlins here at plus 155. I think they've got something of a chance to win this game. I think we could see a decent start out of Max Meyer. The Padres are not good right now, and getting the Marlins, at plus 155 feels like a decent price. Next on the dock, we've got the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Pirates come into this game fresh off a 5-0 loss in Game 1 of this series. They're hitting the ball in this one to Mike Burrows, who's 0-1 on the year, a 7.20 ERA. He's only made one start, but it wasn't a very fun one. He got shelled there by the Milwaukee Brewers, and it was eventually an 8-5 loss. The Pirates' bullpen has been pretty terrible, guys. A 4.52 bullpen ERA is not good. And their offense, obviously getting shut out in their last game. Now they've looked a little bit better every once in a while recently, but they are still last in the majors in runs scored. They are last in slugging percentage and 27th in the majors, batting .224 as a team. So not a lot of positive things for me to say about the Pirates right now. They're taking on the Diamondbacks in this one, who desperately needed that 5-0 win. They lost 5 in a row. They're hitting the ball in this game to Corbin Burns, who's been very good this year, 3-2, a 2.73 ERA. He's coming off a long and pretty decent start there against the Dodgers. 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs against the Dodgers, 8 strikeouts and 1 walk. Not too bad. He's had even better starts against the Dodgers this year, some very good starts against some very good teams. He's doing everything he possibly can to keep this team in games, and the starter has to be really, really good on a nightly basis because the Diamondbacks bullpen is 5th worst in the major league. So that's a little bit of a tough look. We'll see what they can get done here, against the Pirates, not the toughest offensive team. Now, the offense may be getting back on track, guys. I mean, a 5-run game isn't anything special for an offense that's tied for 5th in the majors in runs scored and 5th in the majors on base percentage. So I'm expecting this offense to get very much back online during this series. So looking at the numbers here, guys, we have the Pirates at plus 205, the Diamondbacks at minus 250. We got a total of 9 out there. The Pirates are only 6-20 on the road, 17-7-2 to the under on the road. That's an MLB best mark to the under when playing away from home. Arizona's 14-13 at home, 15-9-3 to the under at home. I'm not taking under 9 in this game because I think the Diamondbacks will score 9 runs all on their own. Arizona at minus 250 has a great shot to end up being our lock of the day. I think with Corbin Burns out there, the Pirates are unlikely to put up more than 1, maybe 2 runs in the entire game. And yeah, I think Arizona going to have their way out there with Mike Burrows. In our last Major League Baseball game, before we hop over and look at our one NBA playoff game, we've got the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Nationals come into this game 24-29 on the year. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Giants. They're in the ball in this one to Mitchell Parker, who's 4-3 on the year, a 4.39 ERA. His last time out didn't look terrible, but didn't look great there against the Braves. It was his second straight start against the Braves. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs in a game we eventually saw the Nationals win 5-3. The Nationals are also 3-2 over his last 5 starts. Not all of that's been his fault, though. He has not been great this year. We'll see what he can do against the Mariners. Not the toughest hitting team recently, but they've been better this year than last year. A huge problem here for the Nationals has been their bullpen. A 6.13 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense, guys, I mean, CJ Abrams coming in hitting nearly 300 is great. James Woods with 13 home runs, but 15th in the majors in runs scored and 19th in batting average, kind of where I expect this team to end up. I mean, they've scored 2, 3, 0, 8, and 5 runs over their last few. We'll see what they can do here against the Mariners. They come into this game 29-23 on the year. They did just lose 3 out of 4 there against the Astros. They're handing the ball here to Logan Evans, who's 2-1 on the year, a 3.33 ERA. Now, this young 23-year-old's been doing a pretty good job for himself. His last start was mediocre there at the White Sox, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, but he's been alternating amazing and mediocre outings. So we'll see what he looks like in this one, but I'm generally expecting good stuff against the Nationals, although their offense is not terrible. So we'll see what we get out of Logan Evans. The Mariners bullpen obviously has been relatively solid all year. The offense has been coming and going, and right now it feels like it's going. They're still 10th in the majors in runs scored, but 21st in batting average and 12th in slugging percentage. Starting to feel a little bit like last year. So we'll see what they can get done here. The Nationals are plus 130. The Mariners are minus 144. We've got a total of 8 out there. Washington 11-15 on the road, 15-10-1 to the under on the road. Seattle is 13-11 at home, 13-9-2 to the over at home. This game, guys, I'm not showing a crazy amount of value, I'll be honest. I do think under in the first 5 could be live, maybe even under in the whole game, but I'm going to lean just slightly towards the Nationals at plus 130. I think they'll have a chance in this game. Logan Evans kind of due for one of those letdown games, or I guess he's due for a good game, actually, but I feel like a letdown is more likely. You're coming off a pretty bad start there against the White Sox, and that does not fill me with optimism. Now, guys, we're going to hop over and look at our one NBA playoff game on the slate. And we've got the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, we saw the Knicks get on the board with a desperation win there in Game 3, taking down the Pacers 106-100. It was a monster game there from Karl-Anthony Towns. 24 points, 15 rebounds. He was a +6 out there. He did have 6 turnovers and bordered on fouling out, but a very good game nonetheless. Brunson actually a bad night shooting the ball, 6 of 18, 1 of 5 from 3. Mikal Bridges, not a particularly great night shooting the ball either, but yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson carrying the load and even getting some good contributions from the bench, like 34 minutes for Josh Hart coming off the bench. An interesting adjustment that I definitely don't hate. He only had 8 points, but had 10 rebounds and 4 assists and did Josh Hart things out there. And overall, we loved what we saw from the Knicks. They did shoot 30 free throws in the game, but the Pacers shot 33, so not too much can be blamed there on the extender, Scott Foster being a referee in this game. So we'll see what we get from the Knicks in this one. Not too worried about any health concerns there for the Knicks. The Pacers have to be a little bit concerned after that loss. I mean, Siakam was pretty bad in a big letdown spot. A bad shooting night from Miles Turner. Not a particularly great shooting night there from Halliburton. We saw 12 points from TJ McConnell off the bench, cashing our player prop there, so keep an eye on him. Not great stuff on the boards necessarily. Really bad shooting night just overall there for the Pacers. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them. I think they feel very comfortable with their injury situation, with the lone exception there of Aaron Nesmith, guys. He's dealing with an ankle issue. He's listed as questionable for this game. I pretty much expect him to play, but will he be at 100%? That's a whole nother deal, guys. You got to be at 110% in the playoffs. And if your ankle's bothering you, as somebody who has currently his foot in a bucket of ice water because he rolled his ankle playing basketball, that can be a little bit of a rough deal. So we'll see what he does out there. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Pacers are 2-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 220.5. The Knicks, slightly over 500 against the spread team on the road this year. They're 48-47-2 to the over this season. The Pacers 20-24-3 to the under. 20-24-3 against the spread at home this season. 50-43-2 to the over this year. I think there's a decent chance we see the Knicks, keep this going and find a way to even up this series, especially given what we saw in the other series. Like, I doubt the league wants to see both conference final series to be at 3-1. So we'll see what happens. I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but it's something you definitely have to keep in mind. I'm not a huge fan of either side in this game in terms of the side. I'm not a huge fan of the total either. I will lean towards over 220.5 because I think both teams will shoot the ball better here in Game 4. But I've got some player props that I like way better than any of that. And first up, guys, I like TJ McConnell over 8.5 points. Can't believe the odds makers aren't adjusting this more. Bro's been playing great. Put up 12 points in only 15 minutes. In the last game, I expect similar production in this Game 4. His minutes off the bench are super important. He's the primary scorer and creator when he's on the floor, so I have no problem with this. Ball's going to be in his hands. He's going to be needed taking those shots. If he knocks down a 3 or gets to the line a couple times, this is going to be easy money, and we just need him to get 9 points. If he makes 5 shots, he's going to get there. So I think we're very, very confident in TJ McConnell over 8.5 points. That can end up in the pinned comment. I also have Aaron Nesmith over 4.5 rebounds on the board here. He had 7 rebounds in each of the last 2 games. Unless that ankle is really, really bothering him, I think he's going to come with some rebounds in this one. If it's good enough for him to play, he's going to be out there. I think he's likely, with an injured ankle, to potentially struggle with his shot. That's going to make him even more determined to make a difference where he can, like on the board. So I think that play is live. Probably not going in the pinned comment until I get more of a clear idea of what the situation is right now with his ankle. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Get over to stumpthespread.com, click the link in the description, and you can get on the free email list. All they need is your name and your email address, and there will be free picks and free information on all kinds of sports straight to your inbox every single day. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow right back here, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.